So Nick, thank you for joining us on intelliflo Interacts in our wonderful offices in Wimbledon here. Chucking it down with rain outside. How's your day been?
It's been very nice, although I did get a little wet earlier, so.
Yeah, it's not bad. So we're here to talk about intelliflo IQ, Nick. Why don't you tell us in your own words, what is intelliflo IQ?
Oh, we're super excited, Alan, about intelliflo IQ. intelliflo IQ is our foray into AI, and importantly, what we've done with it is we've created a journey for advice businesses that is powered by AI. AI isn't the whole solution, it's just powered by AI. So we're delivering in two parts. So intelliflo IQ Engage Assistant, and that's the piece that deals with getting meeting notes, gives an advisor an app essentially, so when they're sat with a client, they can press the big record button, get it recording, doing meeting transcripts, taking the information from the client, populating it into a set of fields. Once the advisor's happy with it, it updates 191 fields at the moment directly into Office, and we're extending that number. Subsequently, we're going to then start releasing suitability report capability. And then finally, we're going to manage the whole advice journey, whether that's initial advice or ongoing advice. So that's intelliflo IQ Engage Assistant. And then secondly, after that, we're going to be releasing intelliflo Advice Assistant, the IQ Advice Assistant. And that essentially deals with the whole advice process itself. You configure the solution. It's not AI, this bit. You configure the solution to match your house rules for advice, and it will provide recommendations to the advisor so that they know what they're going to be advising on. It'll create that document, and it bundles the whole compliance capability all within that.
Brilliant. I know from the customers that are using it already, they're really, really excited about the roadmap, how it's going to develop going forward. But tell me, there's a number of what we're doing. There's a number of suppliers already out there in the market. So what makes us different?
Yeah, it's a really great market at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I think, as you say, there are quite a number of vendors out there, all doing really great things. And it's important, that's important for any marketplace, right? We've been an open architecture provider our entire lives for the last 20 years or so, with 140 odd integrated partners, and about 7 or 8 of those are AI providing solutions. So, and we want to continue to do that. They're continuing to do great things. But the reason we did that, even though you've got those firms out in the marketplace, is that increasingly more of our customers were coming to us saying, "What are you guys going to build?" So we were, and they had some really good ideas, the customers, about the kind of things that they specifically wanted. They talked about that full advice journey. That was really, really important to them. So we've tried to build something that really matches what they've been asking for.
It's excellent. But we know a lot of things like meeting transcription, open market suppliers. You can get it on your phone. So what, for our customers' perspective, why should they be looking at our solution rather than something that's out there in the mass market, ChatGPT or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, Alan. I think the reality there is, there are mass market capabilities dealing with AI, like, OpenAI, ChatGPT capability. The reality is they are honed for mass market requirements, not honed for financial advice. So our technology, in conjunction actually with some of the other providers in the marketplace as well, in our dedicated part of the marketplace, are absolutely trained around financial advice itself. So even silly stuff like what's an ISA, understands an ISA.
Mhm.
It's not going to get confused over that capability. It understands when it's listening maybe to a meeting, it understands the relationship between clients and what advice is. So the chances that you're going to create something which is effective, meaningful and accurate are so much greater. And then I guess on top of that, in terms of intelliflo IQ, it's not just ChatGPT, it's an entire advice journey of which AI is a component part.
So looking at us for specialism as opposed to going for mass market, we think will add layers of efficiency to our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And the advice marketplace in terms of tech has ever been thus. You have vendor specialists who provide capability that's relevant to the market to allow advice businesses to do stuff. And whilst you can do elements of that in maybe more broad market solutions, you can't do the whole piece.
Now, I've known you long enough to know you're a bit of a film buff, and we all probably saw Terminator in 1984.
Loved it. One of my favorite movies.
It's a great film, isn't it? So for those out there of our customers, whether they're advisors or not, paraplanners, administrators, customer service people who are nervous or scared that AI is going to take over their role, what would be your message to them?
Okay, so aside from doing a very dodgy Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, which I certainly can't do, I can't promise to do that. The reality I see in this is that advice is a human first profession and always will be. But the technology, whether it's AI assisted or not, is there and has been there in the case of the stuff that we've been doing for the last 20 years to assist the advisor, to assist the power planner, to assist the administrator, to make their jobs better so they can deliver actually what is the service they're delivering to their end clients. And so the technology, I mean, there's Trisha Rothschild of who was the CPO at Morningstar, said it really well, probably some 10 years or so ago now, I guess, when she said technology won't replace advisors. Advisors using technology will replace those who don't use technology. And AI is just the next iteration of that. I mean, AI delivers some serious improvements in processes, lowers the cost to serve, can improve compliance and so on. But essentially, it's a tool to assist the advisor, the power planner, and so on. What I'm really hopeful of is actually this is maybe a little bit like things like targeted support, is actually what this will do is it will start narrowing that advice gap. So essentially advice businesses will be able to serve a wider bank of clients because the technology has brought down the cost to serve.
More customers per advisor.
Absolutely.
I mean, the advice gap challenge has always been number of advisors. So anything that we can do to widen that scope must be a good thing.
Yeah,
sure.
very much so.
Okay. In the same light, though, around this theme of control, whatever technology is used, whatever tools are used, regulatory risk sits with our customers. So what checks and balances do we have to make sure that the use of our AI solution in intelliflo IQ doesn't take that control or create additional risk?
I think there are two parts to that. There's firstly governance within our business in terms of providing the technology. It's really important to us that when we're building capability like IQ and working with third parties as we do, that we have strong control and understanding of where the data is, where it sits, where it moves, how it's used, where it doesn't go as well. All of that kind of stuff is really, really important. So like with any technology provider, you need to trust your provider to be able to do those things. So that's kind of from our side. But then also in terms of how we built the solution, we've built it in a way that actually the AI doesn't take control. Firstly, it doesn't provide advice or anything like that. That's the advisor's job. What it does is it allows the advisor or power planner to be in charge and allow them to see the information that it's prepared. So, for example, if you've done a transcript from a meeting, it will point out the 190 odd fields and records and so on that it expects to be able to update and is asking for your permission to update, which you can update one at a time or do them in bulk. But it will also, for every single data point, will point you directly to the point in either in the call or the documentation that supported it. It might even be sort of handwritten, scrawled notes from a file note. You don't have to just record the meeting. IQ is capable of taking all manner of documents, be they audio or scans or handwritten type documents, to get that information, and allows that advisor, that power planner, to go right to the source and check that they're happy with the information.
Excellent. So nothing moves without the advisor saying it's okay to move.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, it's been out there a while now. What's adoption been like?
Oh, we're again really excited. I mean, I guess we were lucky in many ways because we had a bunch of firms who came to us in the first place saying, this is what we want and we'd like you to build it for us. So we could work with those firms right from the get-go. So those firms have been trialing it in the first places. They were part of the design process as well, but trialing it in the first place, and now are out there in anger actually using the capability. So yeah, we're very excited. Some of the feedback we've had is this is transforming parts of their advice process. It is doing that stuff we talked about earlier, like lowering the cost to serve. It's providing the tools and the technology that advisors now, here in 2025, 26, are expecting to be able to manage their business.
Excellent. And if there's a customer out there who doesn't know about IQ, doesn't know about intelliflo IQ, I've been doing my job wrong. but
Mental note, I'll talk with you about that later.
mental note. How would they access it?
They would access it in a similar way, actually, to how they'd access even the AI solutions of our partners. In truth, we have the intelliflo store where you can browse onto the store. You can see the capability that we provide under intelliflo IQ, and as I say, third parties provide too. And trial this stuff, right? You know, you can point and click, install the capability, give it a go, and see what it does to your business. Probably most businesses, if I look at how they've adopted it so far, have tried it initially in a relatively small, contained way so they can manage it. But one of the things that we've witnessed probably more about this technology than any technology I've seen over the last 20 years is that once an advisor's got the joke, right, they really want to go for it. They say, right, okay, this makes a huge difference to me out of what I do. The average advisor spends something like 34% of their time actually advising clients. You know, that's the wrong proportion, right? They should
the wrong way
be
around,
spending
isn't it?
more. Yeah.
Excellent. Finally, you know, you were the founder of intelliflo. It's 20 years old now. Rewind that clock 20 years. Is this what you saw for the future of intelliflo?
I'd love to be as foresighted enough or farsighted enough even to say yes, but the honest answer is no. I mean, what I did know when we started the business 20 years ago was that we wanted to start in the back office, and that's where we did start for the first 10 years or so. We extended out into the middle office with client engagement as well, with our client portal and so on. And over the last 6 or 7 years, been focusing very much on the advice space, and that's kind of where IQ and so on comes in. So now, you know, as a practice management solution, we cover back, middle, and front office, and IQ is one part of that. It's very exciting. I do think that whilst I didn't see this coming 20 years ago, it was pretty clear to most informed commentators that, over the last 5 or so years that AI was going to be transformational for us all, and not just in this sector, in the advice profession, outside the advice profession. The important thing is to know how to use it and use it so it will be a value add to your business rather than a constraint.
Excellent. Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan.